My name is Leslie Mortenson, and I'm 33 years old, and I was adopted when I was about 3 months old, and I was adopted to Minneapolis, Minnesota in the United States. Birth search means to me connection and belonging. In 1999, my family and I went to South Korea. That was my first time being back since I was adopted, and I was in 7th grade at the time. And we met with Korean Social Services there, along with 3 of my older adopted siblings. And they said that they did a search for us there. Nothing was found. And then I went back in 2000 with my parents and one of my older brothers, and we met with some representatives with GOAL. My parents spoke at a conference there, and GOAL took down some information, and we did a DNA swab at the time. Then fast forward to my adult life, I did a search through Korean Social Services again. And then when I went back to Korea for the first time as an adult last year in 2019, we met again with Korean Social Services, and I looked through my file, and I was taken to a police station and had a DNA swab there as well. So with all those searches that I've done, I have not been able to find any additional information other than the information that was given to my parents at the time of my adoption, which was my mother's birth name, her age, and then the clinic that I was born at. Last year in 2019 was just some more research. We concluded that the information that was on my adoption papers were most likely false information. I have not always wanted to look for my biological family. I think when I was a child, I was presented with the opportunity, but didn't really understand or comprehend the meaning of finding my birth family. Since being an adult and being back to Korea last year, it's been more meaningful to me, and I have wanted to pursue more of the opportunities given to me to try to find them. Through my birth search and through my whole life, I've always been supported by my parents and my siblings and also my friends. Sometimes my parents would say, "We may not understand what you're going through, but we support you." And they've always been supportive to us to find our birth parents and embrace our culture. So I feel very fortunate to have parents that have embraced the Korean culture throughout my life. It certainly has been a part of my identity, and something that they always embraced us to be very proud of. I think even though I feel fortunate to have lots of resources, working with the Korean Adoption Agency has been very hard. They're not very forthcoming with information, which has been very hard, and understanding their customs and their laws may be a little bit hindered to that, but also just their unwillingness to provide additional resources that they may have, and even the lack of empathy towards Korean adoptees has been hard to deal with internally. I think that if I found my birth family, I would say I'm very grateful for them to have the love and compassion to understand that they were not able to raise me as a baby, and it must have been very hard for them to make the decision to give me up for adoption. I'd also like to say to them that I grew up and continue to grow in a loving family, and I'm very thankful for them and very grateful for my birth family as well as my family now. If I found my family, I would feel complete, and I would feel like I would have found my purpose and connection. I feel like if I found my birth family, I would be able to fill in a lot of gaps of medical history, as long as how I maybe felt growing up, belonging, and felt like I truly have a clear, concrete place. I think there's a lot of need for post-adoption services still to this day. I feel like we need a full, complete service in one area. I felt like when I was going through my search, it was a lot of different fragments of different companies and different associations that I was working with, and also just the moral support of maybe people who understand what you're going through, not only the frustrations of the actual search process, but also the frustrations and the different emotions I have as an adoptee internally that other people may not understand that have not been adopted.